I'm very excited that I started talking about all films because now I get to talk about an MCU film. I've talked about MCU films in my reviews, but I've never actually reviewed or discussed a full MCU film. So this is very exciting for me. I didn't get to talk about Infinity War, which I started like my own little thread with a bunch of friends, and we just chatted about that movie for days. There's just so much to discuss there. What's crazy about these movies is that they're in such a groove right now that they just can't fail for me. Like when I go to these movies, I don't even wonder if I'm going to like them. I go with the assumption that I'm going to love it. Like I go there like, all right, like I'm here to have a great time. They're just so automatic right now. Like for me, they're like a sure thing. So when I go into these films, I'm just like, all right, like let's do this. And they haven't missed a beat in so long for me. When the MCU first started, it was clunky. It had entries that I loved, like Iron Man, and it had entries that I really didn't care for at all, like Thor or Incredible Hulk and stuff like that. But then as it's gone on, and I want to say like, besides Iron Man, like the first one that just wowed me was Captain America Winter Soldier. That was when I was like, okay, they're getting in a groove now. And then I can't even remember the last time I disliked an MCU film or even was meh about one. I shouldn't say dislike. The worst film in the MCU to me is okay or like fine. So there's none I hate outright, but right now they've probably made, I can't remember the last one, but at least 10 in a row now that I thought were fucking fantastic. Like Black Panther, Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2, and Spider-Man Homecoming, Infinity War. Like they can't do any wrong. So when I went into this, I was just like, it's a sure thing. And lo and behold, I loved it. I had the best time. It was just a really fun movie. And it was a really light movie after the extremely, huge gut punch that Infinity War was. Even though we all know what's probably going to happen, it doesn't take away the emotional, feelings that you get, the emotional impact that ending has for those characters in that moment, because they don't know what's eventually going to happen, So I don't want to talk too much about that. In case somebody hasn't seen Infinity War, I have no idea how the hell you haven't seen that movie yet, but if you haven't, come on, guys, get on it. But I feel like if you like the first Ant-Man, or love it like I did, you're going to love this one. I mean, we got all the same humor. Now, the humor for me actually wasn't landing all that well in the first, 10 minutes. And I was getting a little nervous. Like, I was like, these jokes aren't really... There was some things, and there was really cute moments, because what I really loved about this movie was the relationships in this film. Because, you have Scott and his daughter, and that relationship is so endearing, so sweet, so genuine that you feel all of it. And that little actress and the way that she plays off of Paul Rudd, they really feel like a father and a daughter, and it is adorable. And for me, as a father of daughters, it just immediately is going to capture me. But I also loved the stuff between Hank and Scott, and Hank and Hope and Scott, like all these relationships, and then a couple other relationships that I can't mention because they'd be more in spoiler territory, but those relationships really worked well, So another thing is, after Infinity War, it was such this big spectacle, this big grandiose story, culmination of so many different franchises, meeting up and whatnot, that it was really just like the awe, But with this film, it's such a smaller film. It's such an intimate film. It really just kind of focuses on a couple characters and what they're doing in that time. And the film is very centric on family. Like family is the main theme throughout this, and they keep it a family. It's very small, it's very contained. You know, this takes place after Civil War, but before Infinity Wars. So they have a very small storyline, and it's nice. It's nice to kind of go back into those, because that's what's so great about the MCU. If you would have told me the MCU was going to exist 15 years ago, I wouldn't have believed you. Like, it's just too fucking cool. It really is. It's so awesome. I don't think people appreciate it enough for how cool it is. It's like a $200 million episode in a television series that all interconnects. Like, you do all these standalone movies, and then they all meet up for this awesome big, you know, for an Avengers type. It's so freaking cool, guys. I'm sorry, it blows my mind how awesome it is. So, all right, I'm not going to talk too much about that, but I love it so much. But the comedy did start landing for me, like after like 10 minutes or something. Then it really landed, and the whole rest of the movie, I was laughing. There was a lot of really funny jokes. We also get to see in the opening of this, they use another one of those things. I know some people are against this. I don't know why. They use the de-aging technology to make certain characters who are old look really young. And I have to say, this is the best it's ever looked. Like, and that's saying something for me, because like, I thought the one on Robert Downey Jr. in Civil War was amazing. And I thought the one in this was even better. And they've used it plenty of times. The one in Kurt Russell in Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was incredible. I know young Kurt Russell, and it felt like he was back on the screen. And here we get another couple characters that are old now, and they made them look young. I love it. I think it's just such a neat tool in a film like this. So I just really was blown away by that de-aging program in this one. Oh man. And then make sure to stay for at least the first after credits scene, because holy shit. Arguably the best post-credits scene for me in the entire MCU. Like, I was like, whoa, that was badass. So definitely check out that one. The next one, like after like the last thing they show after the credits, it's cute. It's fine. I got a couple little things from it. Like, personally, I saw some things, like one thing in particular, and I was like, oh, like, it started kind of making it, but it's not a super necessary scene. So if you don't want to sit through all those credits, I wouldn't bother. But I liked it. I like any little nugget, any little fun little thing, like the Avengers eating shawarma or whatever. It's just funny. It's cute. It's a little extra. You stayed around, and it's like a little wink. Or actually, one of my favorite of those last ones is the Captain America one, where he comes out and he talks to you about patience and how sometimes it just doesn't pay off and whatever. I thought that was hilarious, because that was like a total F you to the audience in a way, but it was a joke and it landed. So I don't know. I loved that cutscene. So, but yeah, Walter Goggins is in this, and I love, or Walter, what is his first name? Whatever. I really dig that guy. Not enough to know his name, clearly, but I love that dude. He's been in so many awesome things, and lately he's just been getting thrown all these big villain roles, like Tomb Raider and this and something else. I'm slipping my mind at the moment, but he's had a lot of big roles, and it's been cool to see him. I thought, the villain Ghost was really cool. I liked the direction they took her in, because she's not just a one-dimensional baddie where they kind of establish her, because that's the MCU's issue up until Thanos, of course, and Warmonger. That guy's fucking awesome. But those two guys. But this was a different character. This was someone who I understood. And I liked that, because that's what I loved about Michael Keaton's Vulture, was that I love villains who I completely understand where they're coming from. Like Thanos, I totally get where he's coming from. And those layers, those dimensions to my villains, I really, really enjoyed that a lot. So I thought she was cool. There's things here and there. It's like, oh, I wish I could have saw more of that, and I wish, whatever. But that's nitpicky stuff. It's nothing really big. I thought The special effects, of course, are incredible. It's Marvel. Nothing new there. They're mind blowing. Like going in and out of the quantum realm and small, big, all, and they use so many cool jokes. There's so many funny little bits, and it's not just like, you know, verbal comedy. They use the sizing suits and whatnot as the jokes as well, and I think those really will land. It's very clever stuff, so I was having a great time with that stuff. So if you're a huge fan of Ant-Man and the Wasp, I would love to talk some spoilers here as well, but I gotta get in. Yeah, if you want to talk spoilers with me, we can do it over in Killer Flicks, or maybe I'll do a spoiler review. I don't know, we'll see. But anyway, guys.